The Artemovsk massacre was one of the crimes prosecuted during the trial of 6 members of the Sonderkommando 4B, which took place before the regional court in Dusseldorf from 1971 to 1973. On the 12th of January 1973, Hans-Joachim Sommerfeld was sentenced to 6 years in prison. His superior Fritz Brauner, who was commander of the Sonderkommando 4B, personally supervised the extermination of Jews from Artemovsk, was sentenced to 9 years in prison. The court in Dusseldorf declared, at a point during their visit to Artemovsk, the defendant Fritz Brauner, who was then commander of Sonderkommando 4B, informed the defendant Sommerfeld, who was then in the city with the detachment, about the order of the former commander for murdering all the Jews in Artemovsk, and at the same time delivering instructions to put together lists of all the Jews living there for the sake of their future liquidation. The defendant Sommerfeld then ordered the local police to put together the lists. After that was done, the defendant Sommerfeld took the results to the defendant Brown. A few days later, the defendant Brown came again to Artemovsk, where he supervised the rounding up of all the Jews and preparations for their mass murder. Both of the defendants consulted with an officer from the intelligence section who was on the staff of the 44th Army Corps, which was then functioning as part of the German 17th Army. Together they inspected the situation in the city, and a site was selected for the murder, the quarry of a former alabaster production facility. The rounding up of the Jews went on for 1 or 2 days and was carried out by the local police. The Jews were taken into a large building in the city and placed under guard. Altogether, there were at least 300 Jewish men, women and children. The action was carried out sometime between the end of January and early February 1942. On an unspecified day, the defendant Brown, his deputy at the time, Thiemann, and some of the members of the Sonderkommando came to Artemovsk to take part in the operation. At night, the victims were taken in large trucks to the alabaster mining area. Upon their arrival, the trucks were unloaded and the victims driven about 80 to 100 meters into the mine. There, the victims had to lie down in groups in the large cavern, which had been carved out of the stone. The opening of the cavern was located 30 to 40 meters from the parking lot next to the mining gallery. Near the entrance door to the cavern from the mining gallery, there was an entrance in the rock which measured less in length and width than the doors. Floodlights were set up in the car parking area and in the cavern where the shootings would take place. After the victims entered the cavern, the members of the Sonderkommando unit killed them with shots to the back of the head. The shooting went on for a few hours, and when it was over, the entrance to the cavern was sealed from the outside.